lead in the challenge.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the ESL India Premiership 2018 Summer Seasons' Masters League. Guess who has joined us? A fly. Wonderful. More esports. More esports. It's a fly. PCR thinks it's a mosquito, but it's a fly.
I think
It
it wants to
causes
enjoy the
various diseases.
yeah.
But this is not what we're here about. We're here about some excellent esports brought to you by Oman by HP, HyperX Intel, Northern Gaming and ESL India presenting it to you. And of course, I'm your host Vagish Kotslebhan, and joining me is the lovely Angela.
Yes, 50 days. We have finished 50 days of ESL today. Isn't that
Finally.
amazing?
Finally, some rest time.
Finally, yeah.
Finally, some rest time.
No rest, but because fall will start soon.
Yeah, damn. But moving on, we have a best of high clash royale between Jimit and Manmohan Mehtab Singh. So let's get to know the players first. Let's start off with Manmohan. All right, that's Manmohan Mehtab Singh. So while we're at it, let's also get to know Jimit Bhatt. All right, that's Jimit Bhatt there. Angie, what do you have to say about both these players?
I mean, both of them are sitting at the bottom of the board. They both played 9 and 10 games. It's a little risky being them right now because if they don't really win many games now, they're kind of going to go into the just enter the Challengers League, which is one of the things that no player in the Masters League really wants to go through. Also, we have this thing that Jimit is played already 10 games, so this is his final game, and Mehtab has played 9 games, so he's still got another game in his kitty. But it's not going to really change his position that much on the leaderboard. He's not going to be able to, none of these players are going to make it to the land finale. Now they're just fighting for their spot to stay in the Masters League for the next season that comes, and that is the fall season. So it's a difficult space to be in, but if you could just have a look at what are the player stats, because if you look at these players in general, they are pretty fantastic. I mean, we have Mehtab, who's played a lot of games. I think he's played double of anybody who's played in the ESL India Premiership. He's sitting with 21,000 games played compared to Jimit, who's sitting at 14,000. We also look at the crown victories. It's 10,000 and 7,000. Their highest crowns, of course, Manmohan having 6,000 crowns. So that is a very good spot to be in. That means he's been in those really hard arenas in Clash Royale and been able to sustain himself. His favorite card is the Sparky. Meanwhile, Jimit's favorite card is the Three Musketeers. So I think they do follow this momentum of using those big cards. And I think in 2017, Clash Royale was a kind of game where if you had one big card and you had a few small cards, you could actually just keep following the same momentum in the game and win through. But nowadays, because of so many new additions like the Magic Archer, the Flying Machine, the Rascals, for example, these are very low elixir cards which tend to kind of ruin big cards like the Sparky and the Three Musketeers. Maybe that is why they have a fall in performance. But I'm hoping to see that today they'll be able to make a difference. We can just have a look at their ban cards. They got a ban of the Giant and the Balloon. Got to let their Three Musketeers stay and even the Sparky stay. This also says that the Golem is still in the back. We also know the Big P.E.K.K.A. is in the back. Of course, we do know that the the Mini P.E.K.K.A. is also quite a useful card against a card like the Giant. I also want to know whether they do tend to use the Minion Horde in this fight, or are they going to go with the Rascals, because I haven't seen these two players play the Rascals. So it'll be an interesting game, but I hope to see who wins this, and I hope that it helps them at least stay in the Masters League.
All right then, so let's head off into the game and see what's in store for us. Okay, then apparently
Yeah, we're
the game
casting
has
this one.
begun. Yeah,
Woohoo!
the game has begun. The game has begun
All
now.
right. So because
Angie,
Vagish
take it
cannot
forward
see so
because I
far,
can't see. Yeah.
I'm going to do this one for y'all. Jimit has gone ahead and taken in his deck. He's going to have the Electro Wizard, he's going to have the Miner, the Log, the Poison, the Mega Minion, and for now he can also see he's opted for the Goblin Hut. Meanwhile, on Mehtab's side, he has the Big P.E.K.K.A, he has the Electro card, he has a Royal Ghost also in his deck, and the Poison. He's also opted to go for the Goblin Hut, which could work a lot in the favor. It can be more of a distraction card. Also, at the same time, the Goblin Heart kind of gives a constant push from one end, which helps in the chip damage. But now we're going to see the Goblin Heart getting dropped here by Jimit, and now we see Mehtab dropping his Goblin Heart. So you're going to see these small Goblin wars happening, but the poison spell being with both the players now going to be spammed this time from Jimit's side, and he's going to try and take down that Goblin Heart. Now, none of them have the Fireball to kind of do the last impact damage, but they do have the log available if they choose to use that. We're going to see Jimit now drop down the Royal Ghost, and it's going to start walking, and Mehtab going to reply to that with his own Royal Ghost, which is a good pickup here. It's going to be a clash between both the ghosts, but then we're going to see Mehtab's ghost win this one and go inwards again. But we see Jimit now drop that big P.E.K.K.A, and the reply to that from Mehtab is going to be his own P.E.K.K.A card. But what he doesn't see is that the Electro Wizard stands right behind him, going to make sure that Mehtab's P.E.K.K.A drops first here. Meanwhile, he's also making sure that the Miner doesn't do a lot of damage to the tower, and the Electro Wizard from Mehtab's end is also going to get a few shots here from Jimit's Electro Wizard, and the Miner not being able to do much again from Jimit's side. The Mega Minion doing its job there, but at the end of the whole fight and the 1 minute clock, we see that it's 1500 HP on Mehtab's tower. Meanwhile, Jimit's tower is going to be hitting the same mark soon. Goblin Hut getting dropped down again, and I can see Mehtab already deciding to drop his own hut and making sure that he has the balance. But the Royal Ghost now getting dropped down there from Jimit's side, and the damage getting loaded out from both sides. The Goblin Hut and the P.E.K.K.A getting dropped down here now from Jimit. The Electro Wizard will be the card choice on the third. But the reply to that is again going to be another P.E.K.K.A coming in there from Manmohan's side. And it's going to be enough to take down Jimit's P.E.K.K.A. And now it's going to charge, but meanwhile, a sneaky Miner going to just go behind Manmohan's star and just do that damage. But now he's got to deal with so much damage coming in here from Manmohan's side. And it's going to be the poison getting dropped there. The tower's chipping very low. The P.E.K.K.A is trying to turn back to give the Miner a shot, but it's going to be the poison that kind of gets the job done. And now it's going to mostly go into OT. We have the Electro Wizard getting dropped down again from Jimit, and the P.E.K.K.A walking fast and strong, going to get this few shots. But he will have to first head to the Goblin Heart, which is going to give Jimit enough time to deal with that P.E.K.K.A. But for now, he's able to quickly drop that Miner card. I don't think that was the best choice for Jimit. He needs to make sure that the P.E.K.K.A doesn't reach the tower, and another P.E.K.K.A gets dropped. 10 on 10, just 10 HP on Jimit's star for now. And that means it's equal to one log push, and Manmohan just going to secure that push with that. I do see production has messed up their names a little bit over here.
Yeah, and, definitely. Jimit's Kamil Khan and Mehtab's
I kind of got confused while casting whether it's Prashant or is that
Yeah,
Deepak?
totally. Production's on some prescribed medication.
But
good
let's game. Good game. I mean, at the end of the day, I think they both had very similar decks, and that kind of also works in favor because you know that I'm going to play this, he's going to play this, I'm going to play this. I think the only mistake that Jimit really made was sending the Miner in front of the P.E.K.K.A, which kind of took down his actual push because his Miner was his actual push to Manmohan's tower. So I think he's playing under a lot of pressure, Jimit. I mean, he is at a point where he's got to play his best cards forward.
Indeed. So why are we waiting? Let's head off to the second game.
Let's go to game 2. All right, so as
okay, apparently production's busy having a chit-chat amongst themselves and not work for a change. So let's talk, Angie, since production has decided not to work today. So, Angie, what else?
I think Jimit should play his Golem. I think it's about time. But as we talk about that, the picks have been made, and Mehtab has decided to pick up the Golem this time. He also has
which one is Mehtab now?
The top guy.
Okay, I can't see that.
So the top guy is Mehtab. Meanwhile, we see Jimit, who's on the blue side. He's decided to go with the same deck as last game. It's going to be the P.E.K.K.A, the Goblin Hut, the Miner being the main charge of damage here, while the P.E.K.K.A mostly a defensive card. The Royal Ghost, of course, going to just do that needed damage onto the Dark Witch, but this Bat's going to make sure that she doesn't take a fall here. the bat's doing quite a lot of damage. Also, when she does die, she spawns 2 more bats. But I don't think it was the best use of the card. He should use it more when he's pushing aggressively, not as just to take down a hut. But here we see the big, gigantic golem walking towards Jimit Star, and the P.E.K.K.A going to be the best counter against a card like that. Of course, the flying machine gets added to that with the fireball, trying to do damage here, but the golem has already spawned its babies, and now it's Mehtab's time to defend, and he better make sure he has something in store. He does have the Sparky card to hold through this, but he has to collect 6 Alexa, and he's sitting at 4 for now. Not going to be enough, I think, to really get time to spawn that. That's going to be like one shot from the P.E.K.K.A onto the tower, maybe another one, and that's going to be a fall for Mehtab's first tower. And this is looking really, really good for Jimit now. All he's got to do now is just play safe, just hold his defense strong, and he'll be good to go in this game. Of course, now he's again spawned the Goblin Hut. Good distraction, going to just keep that push going. This also means that when the Sparky kind of reaches the Goblin Hut, he's not really going to aim for the Princess Tower with that really hard shot. He's going to aim for the Goblin Hut, which gives Jimit enough time to kind of counter that Sparky. He also has the log and the poison, which is a brilliant combination to deal with the Sparky. He doesn't really have a lot of air defense, so he's got to be careful of this one. But now we see that Mehtab's dropped that big golem in front, and the Sparky is having to deal with the P.E.K.K.A, but the Electro Wizard getting rid of those bats really, really quickly and making sure that Jimit's tower is very safe and sound. It's going to be the Mega Minion also who's going to take a fall, and now it's the Royal Ghost who's going to charge this lead. The Miner can be dropped behind, but it's going to be for safety before we take more damage. The Goblin Hut gets dropped again from Jimit's side. And now we see the goblins just doing the basic damage, not really getting that Dark Witch to do much. But again, another golem getting dropped here from Mehtab. He's trying to keep that pressure. But what do you do when you have a card like a P.E.K.K.A who's just going to demolish your poor golem here? And one shot more, and he's good to go. On the other side, of course, he's trying to get a lot of chip damage done with this flying machine, but he doesn't really have anything more available to deal with Jimit, basically. I mean, he has a Sparky, but when you add a Sparky,
I think he's given up already. He could see.
Yeah.
I could just see no red outline. So I presumed that there was no Mehtab retaliation.
I think that the basic issue was in this deck of his was that you have very high elixir cards. You have the Golem, you have the Sparky. Now you can't play them in the same deck. It just gets too elixir constrained. Like you cannot defend.
Like what was the
push.
average elixir cost? I think it should be around.
I think it'll be
4.1.
4.6. No, it'll be 4.6 because he has 2 biggies.
Yeah, he has a golem which is
and
8.
The Sparky,
And a Sparky,
which is 6.
which
And
is
he has
6.
a Dark Witch.
Okay,
And
that's
he has,
another.
so there are lots of things, but I think even if he had like a ice golem in his deck, just like a small thing, I think that would have made a bigger difference for him.
True.
But let's go into game 3 now and see what these two warriors have in store for us. Jimit again going to stick to his main deck. He's going to stick with the P.E.K.K.A Electro Wizard, not really deciding to change much here. Meanwhile, Mehtab is going to revert back to what they originally started with. I think he realized that Jimit really isn't looking to kind of change his deck at all. But for now, we see that the Miner has started the charge. The Royal Ghost being the reply to that. Going to just take a few shots here and charge again. Now the Mega Minion not going to really see that Royal Ghost till he hits that tower. And that means that the Royal Ghost gets at least 3 shots off on that tower. Good start here for Jimit. And the reply to that's going to be another Royal Ghost. And the Electro Wizard going to come in and show himself. And the Royal Ghost giving him a few shots here. But the log going to be placed down now from Jimit's side. And 2 shots here again from Mehtab's side, which is good, which is really good. He's getting the momentum. The Miner gets dropped again, and the poison just going to start chipping down on that Goblin Heart and also making space for the Miner to get a few more shots on that tower, also reducing the HP to 12,026. Meanwhile, we see the Royal Ghost just going to chip down on those goblins and then take down that Goblin Hut. And I think he did a brilliant job. He took down 2 units and can be used again a little later on. But now this Mehtab's turn to kind of deal with that Miner. Chip damage is the game's name, and they both got to do it brilliantly well. The poison gets dropped down again from Jimit. He doesn't really want to deal with the Goblin Heart. Very interesting combination. I mean, they're both playing exactly the same deck, which leads me to think that we're going to see a game 4 with a similar kind of concept. And we see another Poison and another Miner, the same deja vu situation happening for both these players. And Royal Ghost being the MVP choice for both of them. Are going to just get a few shots here. They're going to meet. They just crossed each other. Okay, so the Royal Ghost and the Royal Ghost do not see each other, so indirectly they just cross each other.
They're just ghosts passing through.
Yeah, they just ghost pass. Hello, nice to see you. And as we say that, we have the Mega P.E.K.K.A getting dropped here, and he's going to start charging to the tower. But the reply to that is going to be another P.E.K.K.A, but he has the Electro Wizard, which is going to now drop with another Electro Wizard. And now it's just the Flying Machine that's doing damage, but it's not going to be enough for the Miner coming in and giving another few shots here. And mostly this is where Mehtab has won this round here, because he's got 1010 on his tower. But now another Electro Wizard, but the Poison getting added here from Mehtab, and the Miner chipping away again. The Flying Machine trying to do its best, but we have the Mega Minion who's back in stock here for Mehtab, and he's going to use it. The Flying Machine charging again, and the Miner making sure he can destroy as much as he can. And now the P.E.K.K.A gets dropped again from Jimit, and Mehtab just got to hold this one last push for himself. If he drops this push, he can definitely take down Jimit's tower. And now Jimit's got to be very careful. All he's dropped is the Electro Wizard. The push is strong towards him. The Poison's getting dropped, and very soon we're going to see a Miner come in. And it's another 2 shots on that tower, and he's going to take the victory here. And Mehtab securing his second victory, playing the same deck as Jimit. I mean, this is when you say, right, I will play your game and I will beat you at it. This is a very similar thing that Mehtab is following here.
Well, indeed, Angie, you're definitely asking, or rather speaking with a guy who is no short of A.K. Hangal from Sholay. I'm literally that old man, like, give me a hand, give me a hand, give me a hand. Itna sannata kyun hai bhai?
It's a good game, but I mean, it was a brilliantly good game.
Yeah, I mean, I can just see outlines right now. So
yeah,
and plus the casting helps.
Yeah.
Just keep on at it. I'm making you forward.
I sound
Angie.
like the radio now.
Well, esports killed the radio star.
1-2 on that scoreboard now, and this is the final game. Either Mehtab is going to be able to take this one, or we're going to have Jimit. He's going to fight back, and we'll see a game 5 where all that action as the game begins. I want to see what they decide to do this time. Are they going to really go with the same decks, or have they got something else in store? All right, it's going to be the same decks all over again. I think they just love the same concept being played over and over again.
Yeah, I think they're like just CDs with scratches. They just get stuck in that one particular seat.
Or maybe they just feel that we don't want to take a risk. And they
no, I don't think it's got nothing to do with the risk. I think if you say that, it's predominantly the same set again. So I think
that's
this is what works for them.
I think they could have changed a few cards though. I mean, the Miner being a good choice, but even the Goblin Baron could have been another option for them. But now the same thing happening again. The Royal Ghost going to be hitting on Mehtab's tower, taking down 3 hits here. Meanwhile, we see the P.E.K.K.A getting dropped now from Jimit's side, and he's going to start hitting on that Royal Ghost. Jimit's got to make sure that he plays this P.E.K.K.A card really well, because it's just getting a little wasted according to me. But let's see how this turns out. He's going to now start walking towards the Goblin Hut. But the Poison making sure that even the Goblin Heart will not take a fall from Mehtab's side. And now he's going to just build that push, distracting Royal Ghost and just chipping on that tower again with that Miner. This is going to force Jimit to kind of drop something down, and mostly it's going to be the Electric Wizard. But for no, he's just going to let it be. And with that, he's going to lose a lot of HP on his tower. And sitting at a low case, now we are back to a clean slate. Both the towers at the similar HP. Goblin Heart getting dropped here again. The Royal Ghost getting dropped there from Mehtab's side. And the push begins again. This time it's going to be the Miner who's going to take the beating from the Royal Ghost. Of course, Royal Ghost does quite a bit of damage. So the Miner just going to survive by nick and by choice. And one shot from the Princess Tower, and I think he should take a fall here. I think Jimit is not using his Miner to his full potential. Every time he uses it on the defensive side, rather than using it to chip, he kind of misses out on that little damage that he needs at the end of the game to take down the tower. And again, we see the P.E.K.K.A getting dropped here. Not going to hit the P.E.K.K.A first. He's going to go first, take down the Electro Wizard. And we have the flying machine that comes in now, but the Electro Wizard just going to deal with that flying machine. Meanwhile, the Mega Minion going to get one shot mostly on that tower. If possible, yes, he will. And the Royal Ghost is going to again be charged on ahead. The mine, of course, getting used now from Jimit, doing as much as he can with that poison to help him out. And we are back to square one of 1000 HP on both the towers. And it's going to be another miner now getting dropped there by Mehtab. But this time, it's going to be the Electro Wizard who's going to distract him and make sure that he doesn't do a lot of damage on the tower, which put Jimit in the lead when it comes to the tower. Sometimes I do feel maybe pushing another lane would help this combination better. But we do see the same thing repeat. There's going to be chip damage again done on Mehtab's tower, but the Royal Ghost again coming in here. The P.E.K.K.A. going to take a few shots on the Royal Ghost, but the Princess doing the needed damage while the Miner coming in here and taking the little damage that he can from the Princess Tower. The Royal Ghost again doing a little bit of damage, and now it's going to be the time for Mehtab to continue and make sure he holds his defense. But we see the Electro and the Flying Machine getting dropped here again, and the P.E.K.K.A. coming in again. Chip, 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 and we see the tower is taken, but the Electro is distracting Jimit's miner beautifully well over there and not letting him really take more shots here. But now the P.E.K.K.A. gets dropped again from Jimit's side, and all he's got to do is cycle another miner to do more damage. He does have the poison available, and it's going to be a massive P.E.K.K.A. versus P.E.K.K.A. fight coming in here. Now, I don't think dropping the Electro Wizard was the best choice for Jimit right now, because he does need it to kind of defend against the miner that will come towards him. But as I speak of that, Jimit is going to make sure that he does super quick. He deals that damage on the tower, 17 HP, and it's going to take a fall. Very close game. Very, very close game, but it's 2-2 on the scoreboard now.
Okay, then. It's already hit 2-2 then. So that means one final game remaining, Andrew.
Yes, I really, really hope they don't play the same deck again.
Alrighty,
I just want them to try something new.
All right, all 5 games getting played, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final game. Let's see what's in store for us.
All right, so it's going to be the same deck from Jimit's side, but Mehtab this time making things interesting for the viewers and for the caster. He's going to play the Sparky into the Dark Witch, into the Flying Machine, the Bats, and the Mega Minion. Meanwhile, we see Jimit is just going to conventionally drop down that Goblin Hut and his Electro Wizard. Now, I don't know whether this change is the best thing for Mehtab, but I hope to see how he plays this out for himself. He does have, again, the Golem with the Sparky. Now, this is a very risky combination getting played by him again. His Alexa count is going to be really, really high. But I'm looking to see how he's going to pan this all out for himself. He's going to start off with the Dark Witch, use the bats to tank out the basic damage coming in with the Flying Machine. He's also dropped down the poison that has taken down the Goblin Hut for now. But we see Jimit who sent out that miner and is going to start chipping, but the bat's going to do the damage and hold him in place. Meanwhile, the Royal Ghost just going to deal with that witch for now. But so many bats in store now coming in from Mehtab's side, but the Goblin's going to take care of this one. They know how to deal with the bats, and the Electro Wizard are going to just take a few shots on the Flying Machine and take him down, and going to start walking towards Mehtab's tower. Now we see a few shots here. The Goblin just going to chip 1 HP each. 20 HP keeps dropping from Mehtab's tower, and this is what Jimit wants. Meanwhile, we see Mehtab trying to hold all his elixir together. He wants to play that golem card really, really badly, but I think it's a good time for him to just wait a little bit before he decides to play it. But he's going to drop it down finally, and he's going to start walking from the King Tower. And this is where Jimit's got to start building his push to make sure that he's able to take down that golem. Of course, the Sparky is going to be the card behind the golem that's going to be there to deal the damage to the P.E.K.K.A. But this is where he needs to make sure that he's got everything going. The poison gets dropped here, and it's going to start doing a little bit of damage. The golem taking a few shots here, and he's going to spawn his kids. But the P.E.K.K.A. making sure that he's got enough damage to kind of deal with all of this coming in from Mehtab's side. And at the end of the day, he did manage to take down a lot of HP from the tower, but not as much as what Jimit has already done to his. And another few shots coming in here from the miner, reducing the tower's HP to 700. Good push coming in here again. We see the Royal Ghost charging ahead. One of the best counters against the Dark Witch because she does 200 damage per shot, and I think the Royal Ghost is able to take down this card beautifully well. Now we see the P.E.K.K.A again getting dropped here, and the response to that is going to be the Mighty Golem and the Sparky. Now the Sparky is a card that is good defense and yet offense, and here we see that the Sparky is trying to take down on that P.E.K.K.A. She's going to manage to do that, and now this is where it gets risky because if they don't manage to take down the Sparky, he's going to end up hitting that tower very hard, and one shot from that Sparky is going to be the end of the game for Jimit, and that's exactly what Mehtab wants, and he's going to get it this time around. And finally, he manages to play his Golem Sparky Dark Witch combination so well. Beautifully played there by
Finally, he is able to play what he wanted to play.
Yeah.
A game and a half before.
Yes. I mean, he missed out the first time he did that. And I think at the end of the day, that was his plan all along. With that, he secures his third victory, though. And also, he's got one more game to play before he ends his journey in the ESL summer season. And we'll know his final standing after that. But congratulations to both the players. I think they played decently well. I think Jimit was just getting a little... I would say in mind I'm a little frustrated because it was game 5 and he just wanted to make sure that he's got it. But I think this is the reasons why Mehtab even wins. He kind of makes sure that it's so constant that suddenly when there's a change, you just don't know how to deal with it. And maybe that's why he's played 21,000 games and been able to reach 6,000 trophies so well. And I think it's a lot of hard work too.
All right, then we'll take a quick break here. On the other side, Counter-Strike Global Offensive.